Jenna Ortega's newest comedy horror film tries rigorously hard to capture a hilarious, horrifying experience unlike anything explored in the slasher genre. Unfortunately for this case though, this movie fails in every front. For every tired laugh the movie pulls from you, there are 5 more jokes that don't land altogether. Also, coming as a fan of Ortega's style, you won't believe this, but I believe Jenna Ortega was the worst part of the entire film, and her character altogether destroyed any momentum this film possibly had. But before we get into that though, allow me to summarize the main story and present to you the many insufferable, disappointing elements that drug this promising film into extinction. Beginning with the story, Death of a Unicorn features Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega as a father-daughter duo, Elliot and Ridley Kintner. Following suit to every modern father-daughter story trope, Jenna's character disappoints as a self-righteous activist, annoyed by every choice her father makes. As poor as their bond already is, their relationship grows even further tarnished when Elliot accidentally hits a small unicorn en route to meet company executives at a corporate retreat. Examining the half-life corpse, Ridley makes a bizarre acid trip connection with the unicorn after holding its glowing horn. Unfortunately, Elliot brutally puts the unicorn out of its misery before Ridley can really interpret the connection though, and proceeds to stuff it in his trunk in a hurry to meet the fat cats of a pharmaceutical company he's looking to impress. Once the miserable father-daughter duo arrives at the retreat, Elliot's boss, the eccentric and ruthless Odell Leopold, played by Richard E. Grant, along with his young wife and pampered son, immediately recognizes the unicorn's potential. Upon discovering that the creature's blood has miraculous healing properties, Leopold's greed overtakes any sense of morality that he has. He sees an opportunity to monopolize a revolutionary medical breakthrough at the cost of capturing and exploiting more unicorns. Ridley, still reeling from her strange hallucinatory connection with the creature, begins experiencing unsettling visions which lead her to investigate further herself. Identifying ancient tapestries, she discovers that unicorns are not just rare, but sacred beings with a deep, almost supernatural bond to nature. Meanwhile, Elliot, desperate to secure his place in the company, struggles between appeasing Leopold and confronting the unsettling reality of what they've unleashed. As word of the unicorn's existence spreads amongst the executives, a covert operation begins to track down more of these creatures. But their greed awakens something far worse. A vengeful force of nature. The unicorns, previously unseen in the modern world, emerge from the shadows, and they're not the docile, whimsical creatures of fairy tales. Now, the corporate retreat descends into utter chaos as unicorns launch a full-scale attack, impaling their captors with brutal precision. Elliot and Ridley, trapped in the madness, must navigate their way through the carnage. Ridley's connection to the unicorns proves to be the key to their survival, if only she can decipher the cryptic visions before it's too late. Now, the primary word to sum up the essence of this film is insufferable, and I do not use that word lightly here. This comes in many forms across the spectrum. The rich, business-minded Leopold family are characterized as the stereotypical, snobby, disrespecting, heartless capitalists lacking a single moral virtue. Richard Grant, also known as Odell, is the dying owner of the company wishing to make a final impact before his passing. His younger wife Belinda is equally heartless, showing no interest in the little people that surround her life. She's equally driven by monetary gain. Then there's the couple's son, Shepard, played by Malcolm in the Middle's Will Poulter. He is the half-witted, clueless rich kid that's been handed everything in his life. Now, is anyone else sick and tired of seeing this heartless, rich white person trope? It's tiring and it gets overplayed so far here, and I am sick of seeing it. Of course, they had to make the rich people absolutely unforgiving and uninterested in the welfare of people outside of their social class. Now, Paul Rudd's character is different than the Leopolds, very different, but he still offers yet another discomforting role that I can't blame him personally for. Unlike all of his regular roles as the funny, charismatic, free-thinking guy, he debuts here as a hyper-nervous, estranged family man. Trust me, I like to see the actors portray new characters that don't fit their style, but this did not work for him. A lot of the charm and good nature that he brought to the table in this movie was shot down and pilfered by his insufferable daughter. If you couldn't stand the disgusting scolds that Paul Rudd received back and forth from his daughter in Ant-Man 3, you're really not gonna like this.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just
telling her what to do.
Telling me exactly what to do.
No, you do what you want. I'm suggesting another way to do it.
It's pretty much the exact same situation here. He is a single father trying his best to make up for his miscomings by pursuing an opportunity to provide for his family. He goes on this retreat to solidify a stake on the executive table of this giant pharmaceutical company. For as douchey as the Leopold family were, their requests were initially very simple. They wanted to get to know him personally, as well as his family. Instead, his daughter, Jenna Ortega, could not feel equally more burdened than ever before. Why should she have to smile and show thankfulness to her father around these people? She's so much better than that. That's the sort of personality that she carries throughout the whole film. She brings this unthankful, miserable, egotistical behavior to the forefront throughout the whole movie. Her moral superiority complex defines and crafts every word that comes out of her mouth. All capitalism, business, profiteering, and effort to enrich oneself is evil. No ifs, ands, or buts. She is right and you are wrong. Worst of all, without spoiling one of the central mysteries of the film, her character is determined to be the quality of a pure heart and perfect character. This idea becomes an important element, leading to the climax, but I can't see how this is possibly true. Was she really all that pure and perfect while she delivered constant nagging, bad-mouthing, and sabotage against her father's efforts to advance his career? On what planet can someone drag their feet and pose as a miserable victim and still be considered perfect and pure? Now, there were times when she was right, and some of her sensible nature was important for the tragedy that came. But nevertheless, her privileged mindset was pushed to a level of continuous discomfort that even her looks couldn't make up for. The last notable upset I want to talk about is a misused opportunity to showcase just how trippy the unicorn's chemistry was. When Ridley connected with the injured unicorn in the beginning of the film, I was immediately immersed in an insane galactic acid trip that left way too quickly. If the creators really wanted to go further down this road to show us some truly weird, exotic unicorn mysticism, it could have been so fun to add those images in to counter the dark, bloody deaths that followed. I will definitely say this with confidence that there is one positive that remained constant from start to finish, and that was the unicorns themselves. They were nearly perfect the whole run through. The movie highlights a captivating history and a variety of mystical elements which showcase just how special and unique unicorns are in the world. Although they don't show much expression, these CGI beasts played as rich characters that harbored their own personalities and sets of values to some extent. The creative team did an excellent job bringing unicorns to life in a fashion that felt authentic and convincing. You never really knew what they were going to do. They were completely unpredictable. The film also provided an excellent build-up to reveal the medicinal values of the unicorn's blood. Many of the characters right off the bat were rid with medical issues that seamlessly cured themselves when subjects came into contact with the majestical animals. Their biology and chemistry was fed to the audience gracefully through careful explanation from the scientists, as well as through subtle character changes that continue to improve the capabilities of the recipients of said products. The unicorns had a lot of heart to them, and it was painful to watch their choices change from good to bad motives. So is there any way I would recommend this movie to you? No, I don't think so. It is a disappointing, preachy adaptation of the Scream films with the insert of bloodthirsty unicorns. Sorry, Jenna, you couldn't pull this one off. If you enjoyed the video though, I would greatly appreciate it if you liked the video, subscribed to the channel, and shared with your friends who are possibly interested in seeing this as a method of warning them not to waste their money. I would also love to know your thoughts about the film as well. Is this something you're actually going to see in theaters? Do you think the insufferable elements of this film would ruin your enjoyment of the movie like it did for me, because it clearly did? Does Jenna Ortega alone make you want to just go see this movie anyway? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you all about it. But anyways, I appreciate all the time you spend with me. I wish you well, and I'll see you soon.